Forties would like to thank all our great sponsors: Troby's Maytag Home Appliance Center, Show Me Auto Mall, Harrisonville and Belton, Stafford and Stafford Insurance, Atkinson Funeral Home, Lacey Dominick Shelter Insurance, Cameron Chenoweth American Family Insurance, Young's Tire and Wheel, and Young's Auto Repair, Sherwood Community Bank, Harrisonville, Creighton, Urick, and Garden City, American Heritage Realtors, C Squared Embroidery and Screen Printing, Dickey Cottage, Forged by Fire, Uptown Event Center, and the Susie Q Drive-In, Brad Sainer Farmers Insurance, Hawthorne Bank, Colby's Car Clinic, Heltz Turf Farms, Schroeder Chiropractic, Hollins Auto Sales, Sherwood Heating and Cooling, Harrisonville Sonic Drive-In, Harrisonville Chamber of Commerce, Harrisonville Trade Fair Mall, Quality Auto Service and Repair, Max Ford of Harrisonville. Thank you to all of our sponsors.
And they Hello, everybody, and welcome to the historic Harrisonville Square in Homecoming 2019, the Homecoming Parade getting ready to start. And a couple of the ladies helping make this parade possible are in front of us. Go ahead and introduce yourselves to everybody.
Hi, I'm Caitlin Costner. I'm a senior at Harrisonville High School, and I'm the chair of the parade.
Hi, I'm Madeline McGee. I'm a junior at Harrisonville High School, and I'm co-chair of the parade.
Well, let me ask you, ladies, how hard is it to put something like this together?
Oh, a lot of work goes into this. We've been working on this for about a month and a half now, and even like leading up to this, all the time we have is never enough.
Yes, exactly what Caitlin said. It's all very difficult, but in the end, it's worth it.
Well, ladies, we expect a great parade. There's a great parade every year, so I think you guys will probably do a great job, and I appreciate you guys coming on for a couple of minutes and saying hi, and good luck with the parade today.
Thank you so much.
All right, we are live here at the historic Harrisonville Square on the courthouse steps. Looking across, you will see Frederick Law Office, the Edward Jones Investments, Anderson Engineering. Everybody will be coming around the corner right there where you see the vault. That is where the parade will come around the corner and come on to Pearl Street here. And don't tell anybody, but we're going to be breaking the rules as we're going to be going the wrong way on Pearl Street for across the square. We're we're going to be going left to right, but you should only be able to go right to left. And that'd be east and west and east. Is that not correct, Gary Davidson?
Yeah, that would be west to east.
Now, you know, Gary and I like these type of events because we don't have to have the stress of getting the player's name right, getting the yardage right. We can just sit here, have a good time, and watch what these kids, you know, I like the fact that they've got 2 high school kids that were in charge of the parade and getting it rolling the right direction.
Yeah, it is, and I mean that prepares them. It's just like everything in school, or a lot of things in school, like the games on the field. This is another thing that prepares those two and their committees, I'm sure, and their team, prepares them for life, things that they're going to be doing in their life. So, yeah, it's wonderful to see them being involved and preparing for this.
And, you know, if they're over at City Hall watching and the police are over at the police station watching, if you find a silver
here we go.
Yukon Denali, it may or may not be directly in a parking spot, but I was at the Foundation Golf Tournament this morning and came straight here from the Foundation Golf Tournament. It lasted a little bit longer than we thought it was, but nevertheless, it's Homecoming Friday, and as you look around, Gary, this is what community and small town is all about. You know, you look at this, and it's just there's a lot of school. You know, there's a lot of schools that don't get to enjoy this on a Friday in the fall. You got schools that don't have football, or you got big schools that maybe football's not, or not football, but maybe homecoming's not a big tradition where you have a big parade and everybody comes out. So it's something neat that this size of a community can have.
Yeah, I mean, I think I got up here a little after 1:30, and there was already the square. I mean, most of the places, you know, the premium seats, you call it, were already taken. And so it's great to see our community support our schools and you know, homecoming and the activities that the school provides.
Yeah, and it's like I said, you know, this is just something that you just don't get at the bigger schools. You know, me and Angela have talked about before. You know, I'll be done with school, and this time next year I'll be finishing up with my student teaching, and you know, depending on where I get a job, I might not be able to do this on Friday nights anymore. Or you're
not going to have much of a choice after last week. You're not going to have much of a choice, okay?
Well, so you're telling me I need to work on finding a replacement and it not be Gary Davidson?
Well, the replacement will be on the side of play-by-play. I'll stay and do the color and keep stats all the time, but. Yeah, it was quite the challenge. I mean, I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong. I was telling Jerry earlier, I want to thank Travis. He did a tremendous job in his support of trying to make me look halfway decent. But he did a great job. So
the good news is it was on video, so they could kind of see what was going on. So it's all good. You guys did great. I was listening a little bit, and then we had a bunch of different things going on down there. So we headed out, and I turned it on a couple of times. I turned it on in the second half, and I quickly turned it back off. And that had nothing to do with your play call. And, you know, there was a lot that when, talk about the game last Friday night. We're going to obviously broadcast the game tonight. It's homecoming. Coaches will tell you they hate this week.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but I almost felt like just watching from afar last week and not being at the game, I felt the team was a little bit off last week, just a little flat, just a little different. And I'm not sure why that was. Maybe that was because it was the home opener. They were a little bit more amped up than they should have been. From what I watched, it just seemed a little bit off. It didn't seem to me like the same crisp team we saw the first half against Kearney.
Yeah, I agree. Now, I don't think that they were, sometimes you go and, everybody's really amped up way too much. I don't think that was the case. I think they were just about the right level, and I think everything was good through the first quarter. Just something changed in the second quarter, and from then on, and then we had the pick six. I think that came in the second quarter as well. And so a few mistakes compounded with other things that were happening, and when it starts going downhill, sometimes it's hard to stop it. And I think that's to a certain extent what kind of happened last week, because really the score didn't reflect the way the kids played in the first half. And that's what I kind of hate to see.
Well, and I think, we've seen it both the first two games is the lack of depth, second half going both ways. Kids are getting worn down. Nevertheless, you know what? It's homecoming. We'll talk about homecoming tonight, and we'll have a good old time. And it's just, it's homecoming. And that's all I can say is you just don't get this in every town. And the weather is perfect. I mean, it was miserably hot early in the week, and The storm front came through, cooled it down. We had a beautiful morning out on the golf course, and now looks like we have the parade getting ready to round the corner here. So
yeah, it's led by the Harrisonville VIPs, which is volunteers for the Harrisonville Police Department. I want to give them a shout out. They do a lot for the city, and so I want to make sure and recognize them. They're going to be the ones leading the parade.
We may or may not run down and grab somebody and tell them to come up, and we may get a quick interview with them. We'll just kind of see how the parade goes. I was expecting maybe I'd see Braxton and Collins and Brenda up here, but they may make it this far up here or not. Braxton, got to give Braxton a shout out. He got done with all of his trash bag sales today. Hit 130 trash bag sales.
Wow.
Of course, Cub Scout Pack 4100 as well, leading the charge with the flags.
Cub Scout Pack 4100 of Harrisonville, carrying our colors, fans.
We really didn't. We should have just put a microphone on Kip. We wouldn't have to worry about it.
Make a lot of noise for our Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts, folks. And up next, we have our Grand Marshals for today's parade. Homecoming parade, our Grand Marshals. Harrisonville High School Educator of the Year, Maria Dermer, and Employee of the Year, Kathy Eckert. Ladies and gentlemen, Grand Marshals.
They didn't give him a smooth ride. They put him in the police car. Scott Frederick and his wife rolling in the old. Gary, you're probably better. That's a Bel Air, it looks like. What kind of car is that?
It's like a.
Yeah, I got that part. I don't know what year.
I'm going to say probably early to mid 50s, but I'm not really not sure of that.
Carly Reynolds and Jacob Poisel, our first Queen and King candidates of the day. They're followed up by Arden Middaw and Bryce Jenkins.
And by the way, speaking of Bryce, I think he made your one of your two awards last week, if I'm not mistaken.
Bryce Percival? You're thinking Bryce Percival.
Yeah, Bryce. I'm sorry. Yes, Bryce Percival.
I was like, whoa, I didn't know Bryce.
Yeah. Forget me. Okay.
And Carson Crowley and Amy, I don't have her last name. They don't have her last name on there.
Our next candidates across the judges' table today, homecoming candidates Amy Tracy and Carson Crowley.
Amy Tracy.
Tracy and Carson Crowley.
If I'd have looked at her, I would have been able to tell you she's one of the Tracys.
And then Colby Knowles. And we'll get her name too as we just need to bring Kip up here. McKenna Chamberlain and Colby Knowles. Landon George. Mia Cardenas and Landon George. And then we have the last ones rolling here. Kyron Beavers. And Taylor. See, I should have had the list. And
we didn't have a list. That was the thing. We were asking for that.
Taylor Fordyce and Kyron Beavers. And then our little Henry and Reagan. I believe that's Henry Knox. Not sure Reagan's last name. Then we got the Royal Regiment Marching Band coming up.
Always a great band. They always do great at competitions.
We got new unis too. I like that black and blue. Robert Perryman probably does not like that very much, but I got to give Robert a hard time. was kind of hoping they'd stop and do a routine right in front of us.
I did too, but ladder 26 with all of the cheerleaders. And the Harrisonville fight song as they leave the square. It's another thing we should be proud of as far as our EMS services in Harrisonville. We've provided not only police but also fire and EMS. We've got some of the best around. So,
well, and you know, I wonder if like the football players ever complain that they don't get to ride like on the fire truck, because it seems like the cheerleaders get the fire truck every year. I would be trying to use some pull and get the fire truck one year.
The cheerleaders deserve the fire truck.
Wildcat Academy float scrolled by us just a moment ago. And of course, if you haven't figured out yet, theme for homecoming is Be the Star That You Are. It is Hollywood homecoming. One of our little flag football teams
cheering on the Chiefs for a victory this week out in Oakland country. And I saw somebody walking around here, and I wanted to say something to him. He had an Oakland Raiders hat on, and I wanted to ask him to leave, but I don't want to make too many people mad. So I always like that friendly rivalry with us, and it's always very friendly.
And if you see the uniforms on our youth football program, the 7th graders got to pick the uniforms for the entire league this year, and they went with a flag to celebrate the Thin Blue Line in law enforcement. It's really neat. They were on Fox News. It's just really cool to see those uniforms, except for I'm glad our high school team does not have them, because I would not want to try to find the numbers of those guys.
Sergeant Andy Bell and probably his daughter, I would say, is in there with him as they just went past with the Missouri State Highway Patrol.
It's like our 4th grade Wildcat football team.
And the Dare car, and I'm trying to see, I can't see who's driving it, from the Cass County Sheriff's Department.
I've got Gary up here. I don't even see. This is like your forte, Gary. You know everybody.
Well, I know. I don't know everybody. I just know a few people.
The Wildcat Lady Wildcat Volleyball program, led by head coach Cheyenne Lyons. They are rolling through. You know, Gary, a lot of times people always ask you, how does a program sustain success? I think you're seeing it right here. Every single class, look at the numbers on these kids. The class of 2025, I'm going to say that's 5th, 6th graders? No? 6th grade, yeah, there you go. So that's how you build a program.
That is our future.
Yeah.
All of these young youth that have gone through here, the football players, that is our, and all the rest of them, but the football players, that's our program in the future for the football program.
Some of the varsity football players here. See a couple of them on there. Recognize a few of those. Coach Meeks up there with them. Brody Rogers and Trevor Campbell over on the other side. Jace Reynolds up there as well. And some of the others, junior varsity guys here. Of course, not all the varsity is on there, as some of them were rolling. I think every one of the King candidates was a football player. And the only one that wasn't would have been Landon George, but he's a football player. He's just hurt. Oh, Bryce Jenkins. Bryce Jenkins plays soccer, so. This is our 8th grade Wildcat football program. led by head coach Jim Campbell. You see him on the other side over there kind of hiding out.
And look at the numbers. I mean, there's got to be at least 25 young men there. Again, that is what's going to be going out. That's going to be freshmen next year.
And another thing to talk about, we were talking about at the golf tournament this morning, the 7th grade is going to be led. The 7th grade is going to have a football program again next year for the school.
Oh, really?
So 7th and 8th grade will now be middle school football teams. So youth will end at 6th grade.
You know, the only thing I don't like about that is when we went from, as the mercenaries roll by, started kind of with Todd and Todd at Mercer and his group.
Yeah, Coach Mercer,
Still
is assistant coach down at BBC now, but his legacy lives on as a bunch of those boys back 10 years ago came up with the idea of the mercenaries, and it still resonates today.
HMS cheer group.
And that's another thing. They've added a lot at the middle school, and I like that. This is the middle school cheer squad.
Going back to the football real quick, the only thing is they don't play very many games, and when you're in youth, you play a lot more games than you do actually from the school. You may only play 5 or 6 games. You get the practice, but there's a give and take there.
Absolutely. And the middle school coach for cheer was Lena Quinlan. And one of our great sponsors down there, Lacey Dominic, I always want to say that I in there, of Shelter Insurance.
You mentioned Lena Quinlan. She is a graduate, you said, the 2012 graduate of Harrisonville High School.
I saw a picture the other day.
Going on Facebook.
Tina McClellan posted from 9 years ago. It was their queen and king court, and all those kids. That was like my first couple of years of doing Harrisonville. I was like, man, I'm getting old. And, I mean, I know what you feel like is you got 2 graduates at Harrisonville yourself.
I was wondering how deep you were going to go with that old bit.
So that is
5th and 6th.
5th and 6th graders. Jeremy is driving. Jeremy actually was on our team today. Jeremy Cornell was on our team on playing golf today. Hey, we shot 3 or 4 under, I don't remember. You know, by next week it'll be 6 or 7 under, but we shot under par today.
Well, I mean, last time I played, I shot 12 under, so.
Well, yeah, in a tournament. If you don't, honestly, I already told him, I was like, if we don't shoot 16 under, we're not going to win anything.
No, I was teasing. I just had to one-up you. Whatever yours was, I was going to be one better.
Coach Schleem on the float with the Harrisonville soccer program. Also head coach Coleman in the back there. They've done a great job building a program here. Within the last 6 or 7 years, both the boys and the girls have played in a Final Four in soccer. And if anybody follows soccer at the high school level, you will know.
We're going to get the Silver Sensations.
There you go. We're going to go with the lead. But going back to that with the soccer program, you know, they started from scratch. And if you go to the Final Four, usually it's 3 private schools and a public school. And Harrisonville's represented very well.
Well, that's what you want. I mean, you want to be represented very well. And like I said, our soccer programs both have been outstanding. I don't know how they did this week, but they were 1-1-1. I knew from Soccer at Seconds last week. So, I don't know, you'll probably get to that tonight. So
I will definitely hit on that tonight. I've always wanted one of these. One of the razors. I'd probably get in a little bit of trouble with it, though.
You probably would, Trad. So.
Well, unless I can take it out to out to the renters. Maybe take it out to their house, and then there's no trees and it's a big field. I can probably not get in much trouble.
Just make sure you put your seatbelt on.
My harness. I would have a 5-point harness.
I like that second one. I'm partial kind of to the flag, you know, and all that. I like that second one.
You know, I thought about getting you a couple of American flag shirts.
I wish you would have.
Let me give a shout out to C Squared Embroidery. These are fine quality shirts. I really like them. They're thin, they're lightweight. And I went down yesterday and picked up the rest of them. We have a gray that matches the boys' gray shirts, as well as we have a gray pullover. And Gary, the pullovers
Have pockets.
yes,
Thank
they
you.
do. Gary was like, I hope they got pockets on them.
Yeah, because the last ones didn't.
A shout out to our FFA program, Slater Helt, which is the son of Michelle Helt, the Helt Sturf Farm, one of our great sponsors. They made all the way to the national, like, I don't know the
Yeah.
exact thing it was.
And I think that was Kelly. It was from Butler Farms driving the tractor. I think that was Kelly, actually. Kelly Butler driving. He's also a graduate.
Jerry
2014.
Jerry thought that everybody wanted to see us for some reason, and I don't know. I don't know why, but you know, we're up here on the square. You see this historic courthouse behind us, and we are broadcasting live from the square in the 2019 homecoming parade. First time, I believe, it's been streamed live on the interwebs.
I believe you're correct.
But I'm glad we can do something like this. And when I say we can do stuff like this, that's a shout out and a testament to all our great sponsors that we have that go each and every week. They do everything possible for us. And we'll get to them here in a little bit.
And the
as we're going.
technology provided by none other than our Jerry Forschler.
Yes, that's true, too, because I think Jerry came up here about 7:30 this morning and set up. I text him at like 11. I go, what time are you going to go set up? He's like, already done. I was like, what? I was like, okay. I was like, you're a great guy, Jerry. Good job. He's like, don't tell anybody. Mike Johnson's ride, his triple-doored F-150, 250 that he has. This is for Station 42, which is our Bright Futures. Jill Filer and all of her crew have done a great job putting this together. And
it is a great program. My wife's part of this. It is tremendous for those that
and with
that
her
need.
being a part of that, you can kind of explain everything they do.
Well, they provide. I mean, they're part of the backpack program as well. That's probably was the most well-known thing. But they also provide clothing. They provide shoes, socks, toiletries for those that are in need, that need that stuff over weekends, over holidays, over the summer. A tremendous program if you can give to it. If you've got clothing that would be able to be worn by students, perfect opportunity to donate that to. Get a hold of Jill, get a hold of my wife, anybody with Bright Futures, and they'll be able to help you with it.
And you know, something I want to give a shout out to Jill Filer, because I think she's probably the hardest working woman in Harrisonville when it comes to all of this type of stuff. She's done a great job with Bright Futures. She's done an amazing job with the Harrisonville Public School Foundation. I mean, the golf tournament today went off without a hitch. And yet she still has time to be the communications coordinator and director of Harrisonville Schools, and she's one of the best in the state. I mean, they call her to national conventions to go and talk about school PR. So
I don't think one of the best. I think when we got her, we got the best there is.
So if you ever see Jill walking around, you're going to see her with a camera on. Thank her for everything she does for not only the schools, but just for Harrisonville in general. She does a great job.
And she's a graduate of Harrisonville High School.
And we got Coach Hicks in there. And he's got the softball team rolling. Coach Hicks driving. We also had the Harrisonville tennis program that came by just a couple minutes ago. I got to give a shout out to them. One of our great sponsors, Martha Schroeder and Schroeder Chiropractic. Her daughter is a tennis player this year. She goes, I'm still trying to learn the game. I see the middle school, is this the high school and middle school cross country? See the little kid down there in the bright orange shades? That would be former assistant coach Frankie Jackson's son, Dominic. So Dom Jackson down there rolling in the parade. See what they do? They make the middle schoolers walk. The high schoolers get to ride. I would do the same thing. But Crown Care Center, and some of their folks are on the bus there. And, here's something else, Gary. The
Big Blues.
Big Blues. And I encourage you, if you've got younger kids in the district, get involved with the Booster Club. Harrisonville has something a lot of schools would love to have, and it's charter bus. And not only does Harrisonville have a charter bus, they've got 2 of them.
Started in 1972. I can't remember who started it with Big Blue 1. Now we're at Big Blue 5 and Big Blue 6.
And I believe they're in the works of trying to get Big Blue 7. So, and one of the reasons is the maintenance. A lot of times I hear other schools, you pull in somewhere. Must be nice to have that much money in your school district to have these great buses that are chartered. What they don't understand or know is it has nothing to do with the school district. It's the Booster Club that has raised all that money to be able to do that.
Absolutely, and it takes a lot of hard work, and that's what I would encourage people to get involved with the Booster Club, because all this money that's paying for these $100,000 buses is obviously earned and made through all the hard work of the Booster Clubs. When I was on the Booster Club back in the about 2008, 2009 through about 14 or 15, we were at Big Blue 4, which was an MCI. We bought 5 and then we bought 6, and they're excellent buses. Wonderful rides for the young men and women that are traveling, especially some places a long ways.
They've been to Chicago. I think they've been down to Orlando.
To Texas.
Yeah. Our drama department here, dressed up. The Addams Family will be the fall musical. I'm stealing all of Kip's thunder here. I just keep listening to my ear, hearing what he says, and then I can say what it is.
You got the sheriff and a captain, Sheriff Jeff Weber and Captain Kevin Tiemann in their four-wheeler.
We've got
I think that's probably it.
I think it is the end of the parade. So I'm glad that we were able to. There's Gary's mug. You don't want my mug on. I can see Jerry. So we want to thank everybody that was able to watch. I hope that there were some grandparents, people out of town. You didn't get a chance to come back and see the parade. We can give you a little slice of Harrisonville today and have some fun with it. We're glad we were able to do that. And the only way we were able to do that is because of all of our great sponsors. One of the things we did this year is we created a new package, and that package was to include everything we did all season long, not just football, not just basketball. We're also going to be broadcasting here this fall. We're going to get you a schedule or get you a date. We're going to have a volleyball match on here at some point this fall. We're going to have a soccer game on, as well as probably a couple soccer games, as well as maybe, I don't know if Jerry can figure out how to do a tennis match, but we maybe go to the park and put it on tennis. I'm not going to be doing much talking in a tennis match, but we would like to be able to do that, as well as volleyball. I think I said that. Softball. There's all these cross-country. Jerry wants to do a cross-country meet. He's got this idea. So anybody out there has a capability to do this. We need a golf cart or like a razor that we can put a camera on top of, and Jerry wants to be like the lead car, be out in front of him.
How about a drone?
There you go,
that would
Jerry.
work. Put a drone.
I know Ben's got a drone. So nevertheless, we're going to be opening up and doing more events like this year. So we look forward to being able to do that for the community, and also some of these sports that don't usually get the excitement and they don't get the broadcast. Everybody, it's always been football and stuff, but we want to be able to give back to volleyball and to softball and all the other teams so that they can appreciate and be on, because there's a lot of people that are out of town in those sports that don't get to see it. So we're trying to reach out more. Want to thank all of our great sponsors. I can go down the list of ones that have stepped up for all season long. C-Squared Embroidery, you see these sweet shirts we got on. They took care of us. Harrisonville Chamber of Commerce, the Uptown Event Center, Sherwood Community Bank, American Heritage Realtors, Also, Cam Chenoweth and Lacey Dominic, they are American Family as well as Shelter Insurance. And then I'm just going down the list here of some of the other ones that have signed on for the full season. We have great sponsors, Forged by Fire, as well as Troby's Maytag, Sonic Drive-In, the Dickey Cottage, the Susie Q in Peculiar, Brad Sainer of Farmers Insurance, Helt's Turf Farm for the full season of all sports. And then also, I believe that's about all the ones that signed up for the full season. But we also have ones that signed up for just football, some that signed up for, football, basketball. We have a lot of great sponsors, and we always stress, shop local. I mean, you know what? Troby's was just at our house a couple of weeks ago and installed a new refrigerator at our house. I always talk about that. You don't need the box stores and all of that stuff. I got a little guy up here. Come on, bud. Come here. What are you doing up here? You wanna talk to everybody?
Yeah.
Well, tell everybody hi. They're right here. Look in the camera, bud. Right here.
Hi.
This is my son Braxton. You always hear him on Friday nights on some of the commercials, and he is up here. Also Collins, Grammer. So when you hear me talking about Braxton and Collins, those are these two here. Braxton, how many trash bags? Do you know how many trash bags you ended up selling? 130 trash bags. So all of our sponsors that also bought trash bags, this kid hit his goal and then some. 110 was his goal, and he busted it out of the park with 130. Well, Braxton, did you have fun at the parade?
Yeah.
What was your favorite part?
Seeing all the police cars.
Oh, yeah? What was your favorite part? I knew that would be her answer.
Yeah, me too, Daddy.
So the getting candy and Braxton, of course, with all the police cars. I just had to have him come up here and say hi. So tell everybody, tell them where to listen to the game at tonight and watch the game.
4T's on YouTube.
That's it. I didn't even have to coach him on that. So that is Braxton Graham. I'm going to bring Gary back in. There's probably nobody even watching anymore. Everybody's probably like, these guys are just up here talking on the square now. Nevertheless, we had a great time today. We're glad we could bring it to you. Thank all our sponsors. You need great food tonight, head over to Forged by Fire. They're going to be Wildcat headquarters, and they will have the game on. If you can't make it to the game for some reason, obviously with it being homecoming, we'd love to have you at the game. So get out to the game, but if you can't make it, feel free to watch it Forged by Fire or log on to 4T's on YouTube, as Braxton just let us know. Watch. So that'll be it. We will talk to you guys this evening. Gary and I will have the call. Jerry behind the scenes. And Larissa Lamb will be with the camera. We'll see you at about 6:30 tonight.
4T's would like to thank all our great sponsors. Troby's Maytag Home Appliance Center, Show Me Auto Mall, Harrisonville and Belton, Stafford and Stafford Insurance, Atkinson Funeral Home, Lacey Dominic Shelter Insurance, Cameron Chenoweth, American Family Insurance, Young's Tire and Wheel, and Young's Auto Repair, Sherwood Community Bank, Harrisonville, Creighton, Urick, and Garden City, American Heritage Realtors, C-Squared Embroidery and Screen Printing, Dickey Cottage, Forged by Fire, Uptown Event Center, and the Susie Q Drive-In, Brad Sainer, Farmers Insurance, Hawthorne Bank, Colby's Car Clinic, Helt's Turf Farms, Schroeder Chiropractic, Hollins Auto Sales, Sherwood Heating and Cooling, Harrisonville Sonic Drive-In, Harrisonville Chamber of Commerce, Harrisonville Trade Fair Mall, Quality Auto Service and Repair, Max Ford of Harrisonville. Thank you to all of our sponsors.